a normal shift as a quartermaster, to quietly do paperwork, overlook coworkers do their job, keep track of cargo. That's all I wanted. I was disappointed, but it was enjoyable. For the most part, it started out normal enough. Greeting the coworkers, informing the technicians, copying forms, all that jazz. Everything was well. The technicians were loading cargo, while the miners left to do their thing. I was walking through the mining dock to get to my office when I saw that there was a miner left behind, a new member of the supply team. I didn't recognize her, and how untrained she was showed. She was trying to put on a mining jumpsuit over her jeans with no luck. I stopped and leaned against the near wall to observe her. She paid no mind. She was jumping up and down, trying her hardest to squeeze herself into the mining uniform. I tilted my head as I silently watched her. After a minute of observing her, I spoke up. "Need help?" I inquired. She looked up to me and swallowed hard. She must have been embarrassed to be having such a hard time with a small problem in front of her boss. "This jumpsuit, I see what is going on." I interrupted her, and explanation wasn't necessary. "Just take your jeans off," I proposed. She smiled to me and nodded. "Thanks, boss." Her words filled with gratitude. I nodded and turned to my office door. I was reaching for my key card when I heard behind me. I slowly rotated my entire body at once, not sure what I was going to see. The miner had set the mining jumpsuit messily on the floor next to her. Her gaze was locked to her groin area. My face turned white as I saw that her jean zipper was stuck closed. She looked up to me and our eyes matched. Mine was a fear of a possible outcome. Hers were of more embarrassment. I walked to her, trying to be as slow I could. I was afraid, I admit. There was a thought stuck in my mind. What if I have to take her pants off for her? I hoped for the best. I approached her and quickly looked at her key card, which was conveniently clipped to her black skinny jeans. Chase was her name. "My pants zipper is stuck," Chase stated in a timid voice. I nodded in response. "Mind if I try?" I asked. She bit her lip. She nodded. The last thing I wanted was for this situation to become awkward, not like it already wasn't. I took an A in front of Chase and grasped at the sides of the jeans. I then began to repeatedly tug down, using all of my little strength. It was of no use. "Try the zipper," Chase suggested. A bead of sweat rolled down my cheek at her words. She was a coworker. I didn't want my hands anywhere near the zipper but I had to if I wanted to help her. I held my hands up near the zipper. I felt my hands shake as I was mentally preparing to do the deed. I cracked my knuckles and took a deep breath. My hands sprung as they seized the zipper. Chase jumped a bit when I did. I understood that it was strange of me to quickly jump into her pants, but I wanted to be as fast as I could. Definitely could have worded that better. I was struggling with Chase's zipper, and I understand why she needed me to help her. The bit of cloth from the jumpsuit blocking the pants zipper was tough as elephant skin. I clutched the bit of cloth and tried pulling it as I jerked on the zipper. My movements got more spastic as the seconds went by. I could practically sense Chase's embarrassment. I was just glad no one was watching from an unlucky angle. After 30 seconds, the cloth finally got loose. The zipper fell, and the pants slowly after. My eyes followed the falling clothing. A wave of relief crashed into me as I succeeded. I smiled and glanced up to see that Chase was still standing in front of me, only without pants. I was staring at a pair of green panties. My face turned red. "Thanks," Chase thanked with a smiling expression. I jumped back and landed on my butt. I didn't want to see what I did. She was my co-worker. I stood up and faced the floor behind me, averting my eyes. I was doing out of politeness, but she didn't mind at all. No embarrassed look, no screech of fear even though a man's face was in front of her groin. I was weirded out a bit. After a few seconds I peeked behind me to see if she was done getting dressed. Thankfully, she was patting the dust off of her nicely fitting jumpsuit. I sighed and turned my body back to her. She looked to me and gave me a friendly smirk. "Thanks, boss," she praised. I slowly shook my head, but smiled. "As a friend, anytime. As your boss, I am not doing that next time," I stated sternly. "Don't worry about it. You really like my mother," Chase declared. My face turned white As the rest of my body shivered, I turned to my office doors and stopped in front of them. "Good luck, Chase," I dismissed. I looked back as the door scanned my key card and opened for me. Chase waved to me gratifyingly. "Bye, Mom," she said, closing our conversation in a friendly manner. I walked into my office and waited for the door to automatically close. I strolled to my desk and slumped into the desk chair. I sighed and shook my head, hardly believing what happened. I sat after a few minutes and took out some papers and a pen. I began filling out paperwork. It took me a few minutes before a thought hit me in the face, causing me actual pain. She didn't need her jumpsuit. I yelled aloud, realizing that the embarrassing situation could have been easily avoided.